What's up, y'all? It's Daniel here, and welcome to the Green Room, the best place for artists and performers to hang out as they prepare for the stage. In this space, we sharpen our craft through critique and real conversations, just like the one we'll be having today, with the incredibly talented, creative director, wordsmith, and writer, Bri Laboss. Bri, how are you doing?
Doing all right. I've been on unexpectedly on phone calls for the past like 3 hours.
I totally feel that. Between work and school, it feels like I'm in back to back Zoom meetings all day. But thank you for taking the time out to accept one more phone call.
Oh, for sure. Appreciate you thinking I'm worthy enough of a conversation.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. So go ahead, tell me how is everything?
Everything's been good. Um, it's been interesting, like being able to just kind of have some time off. It's been personal time as opposed to I'm always running around checking on this person, doing that, doing this,
Mhm.
and no longer in that space in terms of like producing things and like pulling things together. It's been a
Mhm.
lot of like just personally really getting in touch and staying in touch with people in the community, which has been nice. You know, you're close and familiar with people, but now it's just kind of on a more intimate type of basis.
Mhm. Before we get too far into it, do you mind telling the people a little bit about what it is that you do?
Yes, I can. On a day to day, I manage a artist collective, a creative collective, and also a community space that's based out in Brooklyn, in
Mhm.
Bed-Stuy. It's called the Slab Collective is the community, and Remy Rouge Culture Center is the space that we have. And day to day is just kind of like connecting the dots of who told me they're trying to do what versus who do I feel would be great at this, which is what we're trying to do. And really just trying to be the connector between ideas, opportunities, and people in the community.
Word. That sounds awesome. And super open. Are you guys? Is there like a specialty, or are you guys like open to all kinds of ideas?
Yeah, I mean, it's very Black, it's very of our community and creative art space, but we really focus on like representation, education, and production.
Mm.
So if you, I say is like, if you have an idea, there's no reason why we can't do it. So let's figure out how to do it. So when I say ideas, it's very broad, but it's generally within that spectrum of like artistic representation, community representation, education, and what are you trying to make? What are you trying to produce? What are
Mm-hmm.
you trying to host? And let's figure out how to do that because there's definitely ways to get it all done. And part of that is just being really in tune with the people around the community and in and out of spaces and being like someone tells me they have an idea and I know somebody also told me they have an adjacent
Mm-hmm.
idea or opportunity or interest. That's where the synergy is and that's where the energy should go. So
I totally agree. The energy is totally there. I remember when we first met, it was at the Black Cotton Club, and I had the chance to hear you perform. And I just remember thinking, I have to interview her. Like the way you put pen to paper, like it would be great for people to hear a little bit about your writing process and maybe a little bit about how you approach performance as a spoken word artist. What is that like for you?
yeah, I'm a very visual writer.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like to paint stories and like utilize imagery. I feel like my most effective way of writing and communicating is to allow somebody to insert themselves into the story, to see themselves within the story. So I like to be very visual with my writing. Um, and a lot of that just kind of comes from yeah, just paying attention to what I see, how I feel, and how my mind kind of connects things. But as a writer, I hate form. Don't tell me I gotta rhyme, I gotta anything. Like I just write. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
write the way I speak.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of like structure, when I'm writing, I'm very structured. So like I use indents, I use spacing, I use the other side of the page. I don't just write straight down. I don't generally use I don't generally capitalize, when I write, but when I do capitalize, it's like for emphasis and stuff. So I'm very much also a visual writer where like the way I write it allows you to understand the flow, allows you to visualize and isolate some things a little bit more than just straight down the page.
Mm-hmm. I totally feel that. And what about the performance piece? What's that like?
Um, it's definitely just making it more experiential. Again, I like to write so people can visualize themselves in the story I'm telling, whatever the story is, whether you have experienced it or not. I think there's a way for you to connect your experiences and what you know, to anything if you allow enough direction, but enough room for people to kind of explore that on their own. Um, yeah, so that's really just what I think performance and offering of just a live rendition of something should be, not to be limiting or anything. So I, for a long time, would just think that like I just write my poems to be read, and I
Mm-hmm.
write them with the spacing and all those things that I just mentioned, so that people understand the cadence, understand the pace, understand the flow of it, which is good. But also, like in terms of myself as performing it, I used to just read, and that would be it, and then that's it. And but when I'm at home, when I'm writing, I have music playing. It's very like it's jazz, it's instrumental, it's something that just like kind of sets a mood or sets a tone. And I would always like just kind of read them to when I'm writing and reading it back to myself. It's on beat, it's on flow, and performance wise, I realize that that does a lot for again just the reception of it. When you're on a certain vibration, words permeate a little bit differently. Pictures in your mind kind of like form a little bit differently. So performance wise and live performance wise, I hate the word performance also. I don't want to say like I'm performing for whatever. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
really I perform a lot for my own personal thing. I think I said that also. Like it's an experience for me. It's an ability for me to revisit those thoughts and those feelings. And I think music and sound definitely attribute a lot to that. Again, it's vibrational, it's energy. Um, I'm fortunate enough to when I do perform at Remy, I can control the lights and all those other things. So really setting mood and just like getting people to be comfortable and calm is super important as well. So when I perform, that's something that's important to me because I want it to be a sensory
Experience.
experience and like exploration of self as well. Where do you see yourself in these stories that I'm telling? How do they make you feel? And I think it's the environment and the atmosphere you're in definitely lend to that. So
No, yeah, totally. They all kind of work together to provide that overall experience. Absolutely. Well, Bree, thank you so much. I look forward to the next time that I get to uh, take part in one of your spoken word expressions. I don't want to call it a performance. I also thought it'd be really cool if, as like a sign off, you could share a poem with us. Doesn't have to be nothing too crazy, no pressure. Um, but if you have anything that you've been working on, uh, we'd love to hear it.
got you. All right, so I'll find something short and sweet for you then. Okay. This one is okay. This one's untitled. We host writing workshops usually twice a month.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing them every Sunday since quarantine started. It's been really nice to kind of hold like that digital weekly space. A lot of people have been able to like come and just kind of share their feelings and just write, which a lot of people don't really spend intentional time doing.
Right.
So uh, yeah, word. My name is Bri Laboss. I'm a writer and a community organizer. I'm gonna share a piece with you. I have no title for it, but you asked for some sunshine, and to me, that's hope. So, I met God before. She was a seed yet to sprout. She was the beginning of everything. Every thought, every whisper, every single thing gone wrong. God was a seed pressed firmly between a rock and a hard place. Tooth and nail. God is fight, to soak in life and stretch towards light. You too are seeds, beginnings and gods. Evolution, long change is God, divine and open in conflicting ways. Gods are seeds, planting belief and faith in hearts. Believe you are God is where growth starts, within.
Thank you all for joining us at the Green Room. Please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on our next episode. Peace out.